Welcome back to the live coverage of the World Championship qualifier, European Championship 2016, and somewhere in between there was a Yu-Gi-Oh that I missed, I think.
Yeah.
So much for opening with a joke. We're now in round 7 out of 8 that we're going to play today. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it because it's 10 p.m. already.
Only.
So does it feel like 10 p.m.?
No.
No?
I know that my body feels like it's 10 p.m. because it really just wants to sleep, but it doesn't feel like 10 p.m. I feel like it's about 6, and I've just had kind of a difficult day.
All right. Well, if we see any more moves like in the last game where is he? Is he not? Is he? Is he not? Is he going to play Dengoseka? Is he not? Then I think you're going to stay awake for the
I'll
rest
stay
of the
awake
day.
for that.
Easily, yeah. Some people were like, Lucas had too much coffee.
Bring me your Denkosekas over here,
Yeah.
and then we'll take you in the feature match.
Well, for our feature match in this round, we got Alessandro di Patria from Italy going up against Luka Vulovic from Serbia. Let's take you guys right to the table. Let's not waste any time. What do we have in terms of decks?
We have a Phantom Knight, Burning Abyss mirror match.
In a way. I thought only one of them was playing Phantom Knights. Because Alessandro is only playing Burning Abyss.
Yeah, sorry. Alessandro is playing Burning Abyss Speedroids. And Luka is playing Phantom Knights. Oh, okay. Phantom Knights Burning Abyss didn't fit on, so we just went with Phantom Knights Burning. Don't worry about the Phantom Knights, they're not on fire. So, yeah, this matchup is usually really kind of grindy, takes a long time because both players kind of have that infinite loop of play Graf gets Sir gets Dante, Dante gets etc., 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 with a few Beatrice thrown in there.
If I remember correctly, though, Di Patria was always very successful when he was on the stream.
Yeah, and I remember him being pretty good with Burning Abyss as well.
Yeah, what I remember is definitely he is a very skilled player without a question.
Yeah, so Luka opens up really lucky here with this Max C. Alessandro, apologies, is going to have to continue his move and just give Luka more cards than he really wants to give him.
Yeah, and Alessandro actually is one of these players that he did have big success last year, of course, at the European Championship. He was one of our top 4 competitors last year.
Yep.
So he knows what it's like to be at Worlds. He also followed that up at YC's Rimini, ending up in the quarterfinals at the very next event, so 2 for 2 basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is it. Yeah, those are his 2 best results, but good results, of course. Oh, and by the way, on the national level, he is, as far as I'm aware, a national champion. Not this year, but last year. So a few titles. Last year was definitely his year. One of the most successful Italian players last year.
Yep.
Also a very nice player, in fact. Like always up for a chat. Just not. It would make sense to have somebody else there who speaks both Italian and English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, that shouldn't hinder you from speaking to him.
No. So there's lots to talk about Alessandro's turn here. He's kind of gone with this really standard play of going into the Dante. He actually got really lucky with his mills. I say lucky. He didn't, mill any monsters. He
built his deck in a way that allowed him to.
Yeah, well, he didn't mill any of the cards that would have allowed him to extend, which is not what he wanted. He wanted to not extend. So he's kind of milled the cards that he didn't want to mill later when he could extend. That's a big sentence.
Trying to make sense of the anti-spell fragrance and spell card on the other side.
Yes, so Alessandro
it was set
flipped.
Already?
No, Alessandro flipped anti-spell fragrance, and then Luka said, okay, I need to chain.
Right, we're still in response.
Chain against the anti-spell.
Thank you very much. That clears it up, of course.
Alessandro could happily Scalding this.
How?
Oh. Yeah, he's going to Scalding it.
It's pretty good. That is...
It's all right. What's the other spell in Luka's hand that we see here? I think it's a Raigeki. Yeah, so Raigeki
he
is...
discards the Raigeki. I was about to ask you, how big of a deal is it losing the Raigeki?
He lost the Raigeki and the Twin Twisters, yeah.
Yeah. How big of a deal is that? Like, Raigeki is not that good against Burning Abyss, traditionally.
No, not really.
So, I guess it didn't really come with too much of a price tag attached. But, yeah, now we see Beatrice doing her thing.
Yeah, Luka could have extended his turn with Allure, but that's the only other extension he could have gone with. So yeah, Beatrice's effect here to just just craft exactly what he wants in that graveyard. So as I said, Sir gets Dante. Dante's going to sit there, probably going to see Beatrice going over that Dante as well. We'll see where he decides to go with this. I mean, at this point, Alessandro still doesn't know what Luka's playing. He might know from prior that he doesn't know what he's playing, because he's only seen Twin Twisters and a Regeki and then 4 back rows. This could be anything. This could be a demise deck even.
It could be Burn.
Yeah, it could be anything. Anything that isn't.
Unlikely though.
Yeah. So I think Alessandro might just go in here. Yeah.
And he does. Correct prediction. One little cookie for Luke.
Yeah.
There we see a little bit of an attack. Asking for the cards in hand. Those are 3.
Yeah, so there's not much he can really do. Like, I guess he could have played Tour Guide and summoned another Dante, but he decided to leave it there. Oof. That's a big one. I bet he wish he would have saved that for a little later. That's a Karma Cut. Now, I need to try and remember exactly where Karma Cut banishes from. Karma Cut.
Well, you mean if it first removes it?
Yeah.
Sorry, if it first banishes it or something?
Yeah, so Karma Cut banishes a monster, and then it also does some extra bit of damage. It also banishes...
You banish all cards with the same name as a monster
from the graveyard.
From your opponent's graveyard.
Yeah, I knew it was banishing all the names. I just couldn't remember exactly where it was.
Yeah, from the graveyard is not that important at this point in time, at least.
Yeah, so...
Karma Card main deck is... It's not the weirdest choice, but we don't see it that often, do we?
No, not really. I guess of all the decks to play it in, it would make sense to play it in Burning Abyss. So, not like if it would have been in a Cosmo deck, then it would have been what's going on?
Weird, yeah.
But yeah, so we see the chain resolves correctly here. The Fogblade will negate the Beatrice's effect. Beatrice's effect will resolve. Then what's going on here? Okay, yeah, Beatrice's effect won't resolve, but then the graph that was detached will resolve. So we're going to see him summon a Burning Abyss monster from his deck. So he goes with Liebig. I'm sure that was Liebig. We will see coming into the app here. Yeah, Liebig.
Yeah.
I'm sure Liebig is the one that when it is sent to the graveyard, you can summon a level 3 fiend monster from your hand and its effects negated.
This is also one of the most flexible decks that there are in the training card game.
Yeah. It's a lot of searching. This Burning Abyss generally just does what Burning Abyss does.
And I think
it
was stronger in the TCG than it is in the OCG, right? Because of a couple of exclusive cards.
Well, I think they get all of the Burning Abyss. Yeah, by now they.
By now, yeah. But at first it was a lot stronger in the TCG, if I remember correctly. I remember this one comment from somebody who said, "Yeah, if I'm deciding which deck to get, I'm always going to go for the deck that has the most TCG onlys, because there's a very high chance that there's going to be more of these cards, and the European office or the European and the American office, they tend to try and make sure that the archetypes that they introduce will be relevant for a little bit of time." Somebody, which is interesting because earlier we had this discussion about the new cards, the Spiral cards. Was it Spiral?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somebody commented, "Oh, I think the other archetypes are going to be stronger." I would not think so. The TCG archetypes very often quite competitive.
Yep. So again, it's very basic Burning Abyss plays here. He's able to, whenever Dante goes to the graveyard, he's able to search that Sir back, which continues the loop of getting another Dante back from the graveyard. I think that's why Karma Cut is kind of good here. It allows that special special move really that would get rid of all those Dantes all in one go.
Right.
But he's used the one copy of Karma Cut that he planned on playing. The only other thing that you can use to stop the Dantes in their tracks is Solemn Warning, because then you can't revive them. But he doesn't have that right now. He's only got... Oh, actually, he does... Wait, well, hold on. Yeah, there is the other Solemn Warning. He hasn't got any more.
Let's take a look here.
He's going to go for Super Quantum Mech Beast. I was hoping that I'd remember the name. Gramples by the end of the sentence. Super Quantum Mech Beast Gramples.
Yeah, you can work your way there.
Yeah, I was hoping...
Among the way you can find out what the name was.
The worst part is I usually just remember it as Gramples. I don't remember the rest of its name. So, yeah. Yeah, so Gramples here. I think Alessandro de Patria is flying through his extra deck here.
Yeah.
Really flying through his extra deck. Luka
He
seems
hasn't
to be in a
even
bad
started.
spot. Yeah, he's not even started.
He's got like 4 cards in his graveyard, and that's pretty much it.
So Dante comes back
Whereas
again.
Alessandro is he's trying to get his deck as thin as possible, and he's succeeding so far.
Yeah, so I think Luka could do with... scooping up.
Yeah, Luka could scoop up, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking he could do with like tour guides to start
Well,
something.
Wow, that was an interesting first game. Good luck finding some highlights there, Rob. Yes, he's just chuckling. He's like, yeah.
In honesty, that was way faster than any Burning
Although
Abyss mirror match.
the opening from Alessandro, the very first turn when he opens with the Beatrice
Oh,
and has the
wow.
anti-spell fragrance.
Here we see a little bit of respect coming out from the players here. Bit of a
face-up sideboarding.
I've not seen this in a while. Yeah, so both players have chosen to not play Ghost
Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
No, it's
Ghost Reaper and Winter
Ghost
Cherries.
Reaper and Winter Cherries.
Sorry, yeah.
Because it would stop the. Yeah,
it basically destroys.
It's an auto win.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that we had a feature match where one guy had only 1 copy of this card in his side deck. The other player had 3 copies of his of this card in the side deck. The player with the 3 copies, so the guy who should have the upper hand in theory, is offering this gentleman's agreement to the other player. Says, "Hey, shall we side them out? The Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries." The other player says, "No, I'm gonna take my chances."
Yeah.
And then he draws into his 1 copy and ends up winning the game with it. So well done to you.
Yeah, I remember that during Necros format, I played quite a lot during the Necros format before the last European Championships, and yeah, there was a lot of times in which people said to me when I was playing Necros, "Oh, do you want to side out the Djinn?" That was a big one. Siding out the Djinn, and there was something else as well. What was it now? Trying to remember what it was. I think it was just the Djinn. Yeah, so it was the Djinn, and then basically, if I won the first game,
there are a couple of these cards.
Yeah, if you win the first game,
I've also seen players deciding not to side into Max C, for example.
Yeah,
which is a bit different because Max C isn't an automatic win or something like that, or
yeah.
Yeah, and of course we're not going to see somebody side in an extra copy of the Ghost Ogre.
No, because all 3 are
you're not allowed to play more than 3.
Nope.
And if you do have a 4th copy, there's something very, very wrong with the deck list. And you really shouldn't be undefeated.
Oh, wow. Alessandro is actually playing Spell Canceller. This is 2013.
But what we can actually do is we can take a quick look at the player match history of these 2 guys and see who they played against in the rounds before. I think they are undefeated. If we just go to there, yeah, and then search for the names and see if we can get a glimpse of what their little journey has been like so far. I also don't have that many Serbian players. If we can just put that on the spot. Yeah, let's see if we can bring that up for you guys. That would be the pairings of the matches of Alessandro Di Patria early in the day. Let's just quickly cut to that if that is possible, guys. There we go. He's undefeated, like I said. Oh, no, he's not undefeated, by the way. In round 4, he lost to Mr. Lancelot.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, it is. He's unfortunately not playing the...
Noble Knights.
The Noble Knights, thank you.
And then...
But yes, what kind of decks do we see? We see Fire King, Cosmo, Exceed Monarchs, Monarch... we lost to that exact deck, Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss.
So we lost the mirror match.
And Exceed Monarchs. Okay, if we do that, yes, those are the other rounds after that. 1 against Domain Monarchs, and now he's going up against Luka Vulovic. All right, the guys are ready for game 2, so let's go back to the table, where we can see the opening of both of these guys. We got the cards in for Luka already.
That's a flying C. There's that Karma Cut again.
There is
that wooden copy of Karma Cut.
Yeah, but I think when I said that earlier, people were already like, no, it's a staple. I always play 2 of them. So I stand corrected.
Oh, here, you can have this gift of mine. Oh.
How good would be Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries right now?
No, it would be amazing. That's the thing. It's just an auto win.
Yeah.
But the Flying Sea is
Well,
pretty
I mean,
good as well.
if you play it, there are people who have a Denko Sekka in hand, the opponent has 5 face downs, and they're like, nope, I'm going to save it.
Now, Luke, you are not having your moment of glory. No Denko Sekkas for you.
All right. Let's see. So this is the opening of Luka Vulovic. Phantom Knights of Silent Boost, Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak, Flying Sea, and Karma Cut.
Yeah,
Flying Sea's on the table?
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, that's clever.
See, I totally missed that.
I think he's going to... If he wants to try and get some damage in, he can far away the Flying Sea so that he can get the damage in directly, and then the Flying Sea is going to come back. That's kind of cool. That's just a random thought of mine. It might not actually happen, but it's just a random thought. That'd be a pretty cool thing.
I totally missed the Flying Sea, to be honest. I'm not sure if it happened too fast or if I really didn't pay attention.
No, Patria just kind of... Luka was playing his cards, and Patria just placed it on his side of the field.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it was kind of sneaky.
In a sneaky way. Okay, maybe that's the reason why then.
Yeah.
It's also kind of mean, right? If you agree with your opponent that you're going to side out Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, and then you still have Flying Sea, which is worse, but kind of does the same thing. No?
I guess you can... If you have... depends on like a lot of things, the extra deck and things like that, because you can use it as a synchro material. But I guess he's not playing any synchro monsters. No, he's not. Oh, other than
Virgil, but he doesn't count, of course.
He doesn't count.
All right. So good for Alessandro, I would say.
Oh, lovely. He's got a dual terminal Foolish Burial. That's nice. It's not my favorite dual terminal, but it's still pretty good.
He's also got a Maxi, Alich, and Twin Twisters. That is looking really promising, if you ask me.
Yeah, so Maxi is the thing now. Maxi is it's not as bad as Reaper, but it's pretty bad because you just play it and then your opponent doesn't get to play cards.
His hand traps, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they're really putting in some work for him here.
Yeah.
All right. What does Luka need here? What is a card that he really wants to see right now?
Well, this Karma Cut's going to deal with this Dante.
So that's a start. The staple is doing its job.
Yep, and then obviously the Tar Guide gets searched in the end phase.
It's interesting because it seems a little like these two guys are running low on resources, which is very untypical for Burning Abyss in general. This is the one deck that can keep going.
Yeah.
It does win most of the marathons. Maybe not all of the sprints, but most of the marathons. And it doesn't seem to be that way for Luka in this match.
Well, Luka's going to start playing some cards now. He's got double Phantom Knight monsters in his grave, so he can start doing a lot of searches with them.
Mm.
So he's going to use Boots. Lets him go search for a monster. Sorry, no, Cloak. Lets him go search for a monster. And then Boots is still in his graveyard. Lets him go search for a trap card.
Right.
I think it says spell or trap card, but I don't think there's any spells yet. There's one... can't remember if there is one.
Flying Sea attacking.
This is going to beat him down here. I remember what was the one that was used in Necros. I remember once seeing someone get beaten down with one of those confronting the sea or something.
Okay.
Can you remember what it was called?
No, I'm not sure.
The one that was used in Necros against Unicor that banished all of your... it banished your Herald of Arclight. Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, that one, I once beat someone down with one of those. I was like, fine, you give me a monster.
Yeah.
Use it.
We've seen that in a feature match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gloves.
It's not how it's supposed to work.
No. So there's the gloves.
And back to Alessandro.
He's got a. I think he's got a great hand here. He's got a Phoenix Rhino Warrior for next turn with one of his Burning Abyss monsters. He's also got Tor Guide for this turn. Alessandro's just really set up here. Yeah, he can just deal with that back row and then go crazy.
He can play it relaxed.
Yeah, I think he can just go crazy now. In all honesty, he's got Tor Guide. He's got no back rows, so he can special summon as many Burning Abyss monsters from his hand as he wants. Obviously, once per Burning Abyss monster for this turn, but still, he can kind of put all the stuff on the board. I don't think Luka has. Oh, hold on, no. We're talking about this crazy. Luka actually has a Max C, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to Tour Guide, and then straight away he's playing that Max C.
That card makes all the difference right now.
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, and what's worse is that Alessandro here, although he gets to pick exactly which Burning Abyss monster he wants, he has to play Dante.
Yeah. Is he going to go for the Max C challenge, where he just summons enough monsters to try and finish his opponent in the same turn?
No, I don't think he can win now. I don't think he can win straight away. He keeps on going, though. Yeah, obviously he sees the investment in that Beatrice well worth it.
Yeah, I was about to joke that he's trying to take out his opponent because we've seen that before.
Yeah. Ooh, Gammasil. I just saw Gammasil. That's pretty interesting.
Sorry, what?
Gammasil.
Gammasil, the sea turtle kaiju.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah, so Luka just drew that. Maybe he can somehow be able to just stick that on his opponent's side of the field, and then it's kind of weird. They're both going to end up with a card on their side of the field they don't want. And the thing with Burning Abyss is that that's a bad thing when you've both got a card on your side of the field that you don't want, because all of the Burning Abyss monsters just blow up as soon as they hit the board, and there's no other Burning Abyss monsters. Yeah, so Sir's effect isn't going to be useful here unless he. So this would be the kind of really. I was just thinking to myself, maybe this would be the right time to make that cool Fafa play I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, temporarily remove the flying sea and say, okay, well you've given me a Garmasil. You're not going to be able to get through this Garmasil as well as win, as well as me putting this Dante on the board. You know, maybe that would be the opportunity for that. But he's he's decided against it. He's obviously got just the Dante back. But I think that would have been pretty cool play.
Not too shabby though.
No, definitely not. I just think that would have been quite a nifty little play. I'm sure that must be on his radar of plays to do. Definitely. It must have come up at least once.
It's so interesting how this game has suddenly shifted again, because Luka he's got a couple more cards in his hand now, thanks to that Maxi that was really putting in some extra hours. Now with 4 more cards in his hand. And is he finally going to get rid of his Flying Sea? Doesn't look like that.
I mean, he can attack it into the Garmasil, but that's like 1,700 damage.
That's a pretty bad trade, I guess.
Is it 1,700? Yeah, I think it's like 1,700 damage you would take. That's a lot. That's a lot to try and get rid of a Flying Sea. I mean, let's be honest though. There was times during the Necros format where you would see Burning Abyss players attacking that into like a Unicorn, for example.
Okay, he's finally going to get rid of the Flying Sea. That is some big news for him.
Yeah, so that must have been negated by Alec. So that's good. That's what he wants. So, but the thing is, Alessandro had Max C, so he's just going to keep drawing cards now if his opponent tries to make any moves. That's terribly ironic, though, isn't it? Watching a Dante have a Flying Sea underneath it.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, yeah. It's good of you pointing it out. Yeah, it's extremely weird. And well, basically, Alessandro Di Patria is returning the favor with his Maxi. Yeah. And where's Luka going to go from here?
I think, in all honesty, Luka doesn't get hit as hard by Maxi because the Phantom Knight part of his engine kind of says, okay, I'm just going to wait and I'm just going to get a few trap cards and set these trap cards. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Fogblade. Oof. Fogblade's pretty good. It's a searchable Fiendish Chain.
Yeah.
That is also a Spell Speed 2 Monster Reborn.
Well, it's one of the main reasons why Phantom Knights are being played.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without it...
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, it's pretty good. Spell Speed 2 Monster Reborn. It's almost like I wanted to say Call of the Haunted.
Right.
You can use it the turn it goes to the graveyard, however.
So again, where do we go from here?
I think this is what I was talking about.
And there's a draw. Okay.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is kind of the both players are established.
I'm aware.
This is now going to grind and grind and grind and grind until one of the players is able to make a big move. Like where's our very famous Karma Cut? I think that's already been used, hasn't it?
Well,
so I don't think he's going to be able to use that. Let's have a look at these side decks once more.
I kind of miss Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's also fun when you offer your opponent to not side into them. Your opponent agrees, and then his side out. You put one card on the side because you only have one in your side deck. That's of course that is not the case here because both of these guys are going for 3 copies. Just imagine how insulting that would be for your opponent.
Alessandro de Patria actually has Vanity's Fiend in his side deck, so that would be quite a big blowout card.
Yeah, it's also a good way to get rid of a kaiju if you really have to.
Yeah. Let's have a look here for Luka. He's playing 1 Mischief of the Gnomes. I loved that card. I loved that card during Necros format. It was actually pretty cool. You can banish it to drop all the levels on the field and in the hands. So when you played things like the Unicorn play with Kaleidoscope, or if you tried any of the other level plays, it just wouldn't work because the monsters were the wrong level.
I think I just missed my cue because this is the point in time where I was supposed to say, oh, those were the days. Because now it's no longer the current format, so of course we can all
agree that it was awesome
and be like, oh yeah, it was the best format ever. Oh, Necros every night. I was being so happy. Rob is staring at me like, what? No, but
he didn't like it. I loved Necros. I really liked Necros.
I noticed.
As soon as it came out in Japan, I was straight on it. I was practicing with my friends with that deck.
Nobody's playing it anymore, though.
No, that's because there's no cards left.
Well, it rained 1.5 years. That must do.
What is that? Oh, it's a Giga Brilliant. Okay, he's going for
Corbage.
Yeah, he's going for Corbage.
So is that another card for the Maxi? Yes.
Oh.
There's a second Flying Sea?
What?
Whoa. And that's it. He's like, yeah. That is that. I can't do anything after that.
Really? I thought that Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought the Flying Sea could only be... I guess, yeah, you could use it when you did that play as well. That makes sense. Wow, okay. Well, that was a much quicker game than I was expecting.
Yeah. I told you Alessandro Di Patria is pretty competitive in the feature match area.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was expecting that to be over much sooner. Much later.
Yeah. See, we didn't disappoint you guys there.
Yeah.
But these flying seas, plural.
Yeah.
They were putting in some overtime for Alessandro.
And
I'm really curious to know who asked, do we not want to side into Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries?
I bet it was Alessandro.
So he tells his opponent, hey, we're going to side out the best anti-card. And then I got a second one. All right. That was quite an interesting game.
Yeah.
Not the way we imagine it to play out.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to talk about when it comes to the deck list of these guys? Is there any super interesting choices here?
I think Spell Canceller was pretty interesting for Alessandro. We saw that was being played a lot at the beginning of the kind of the Pendulum era, not Cliff Odds, but when the kind of the Performer Pal Pendulums started. We just got a note from our technical director that was quite amusing. Spell Canceller, pretty interesting card when the Pendulum deck started around. Luka's side deck was a little all over the place.
The Kaiju didn't really do anything in the end.
No. He's only playing one copy of System Down. I don't know. Some people like playing one copies of things in their extra deck. I'm not a fan of that.
Well, it's a silver bullet. If you draw it in the right time, can make all the difference. And I mean, we've seen some interesting silver bullets. We've seen a Dark Magician being sided in a feature match. So
did we?
Yeah, we did at one point. Where a player basically told his friends, "Hey, I have one more slot in my extra deck. I'm going to play a Dark Magician, and if I'm going to be on the stream, I'm going to side into it." And he did.
Right. Okay.
And he won with it.
Right.
That's that was basically we went into overdrive when the opponent was passing, and we saw that there was an opening to summon Dark Magician and win the game with it. I mean, he had won anyway, right? So it's not like, oh, okay, that was like the coolest move ever. It was legendary.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
legend. Wait for it.
I mean, Dark Magician's a legend in his own right.
It is.
He is the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense.
Yeah, I know. I know that for a fact. I've translated this card like 25 times, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. Every time the card gets, it's going to be in another set, we have to look at the card text again. And there are certain cards where I no longer just look, I'm just like typing it up without thinking about it.
Right, okay.
Blue Eyes White Dragon would be one of those cards as well.
Okay, well, quote us the Blue Eyes White Dragon text then. I mean, if you've translated so many times.
The thing is, I know the German card text.
Oh,
it's an ultimate weapon of destructions. Few have seen him and survived, something like that. I know the exact German text, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe our German audience would like to hear it at some point, but not right now.
Die ultimative Zerstörungsmaschine. It's German is a forceful language, you know that, so it's quite impressive.
That was quite impressive. So, Alessandro, again, this strange anti-spell fragrance main deck. That's really weird.
Right.
I guess he must have tested and thought that was good.
Well, I mean, he's X1.
Yeah.
6 wins, 1 loss. Not too bad, not too bad.
His only loss was to Burning Abyss Phantom Knights. And I think this comes back to talking about the North American World Championship qualifier. He's thought to himself, okay, no one's gonna play Burning Abyss because it got beat at the North American World Championship qualifier. It's that whole kind of 1 step or 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
How far do you want to go? How many steps ahead?
You want to go the right amount.
Yeah,
The question is always, what is the right amount?
Yeah.
Maybe if we can bring up the history of Luka to get a quick glimpse of how he played in the first few rounds. It was Vulovic. We just go, and
let's have a quick look.
That could be interesting.
Yeah,
all right.
So let's have a quick look at who.
Let's take a quick look at
Luka
what decks Luka was going up against. If we can bring up his pairings, that would be great. And then we can see what he. I think he's also got one loss, just like now
against Monarchs.
Now it's 2 losses. But yes, Monarchs in the second round were not perfect for his tiebreaker, but also not the end of the world. With 2 losses, you can still go all the way.
Yeah.
And
then
did win against Phantom Knights.
And then we see him going.
Did win against Phantom Knights, Burning Abyss.
He's played a lot of Burning Abyss.
Yeah, actually he did.
Yeah.
If he does his very own personal metagame breakdown of what decks he went up against, it's very different from what you would expect from a tournament as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're going to take a very short break, and then we try to bring back Alessandro Di Patria from Italy for a little post-game interview. Ask him a couple of tough questions. He's going to have the right answers. And then we're going to be back with another feature match eventually.